Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Wednesday, October 20th, 2021. Going to go over some of the top headlines today. We'll start with Bitcoin hits record high on this very same day. And as we've been pointing out for all of the year and making accurate predictions off this knowledge, we've been saying Bitcoin is clearly Jesuit controlled and all of its big headlines are clear Jesuit rituals. So look at today, October 20th. The day leaving 72 days left in the year. And what do you know? The coin with a Gematria value of 72 like money hits its record high. And again, if you're new here, this is very simple to understand. The calendar that we're on, the Gregorian calendar, it's named after the Catholic Pope Gregory. And the language we're speaking, English, which is the language spread all over the world, the language of the New World Order, if you will, it is credited to the Catholic monk Berfurth in about the year 1000 AD. Catholic. And if you look into the Catholic history, they have a Jewish connection. It's the Jesuits, who were Jews who converted to Catholicism, who joined up with the church in the 16th century to counter Martin Luther's 95 Theses, because Martin Luther was going after the Catholics and the Jews, which is real historical fact. And Martin Luther was German, so think about that in light of World War II and Adolf Hitler, who was clearly a Jesuit. And, you know, the fact that the Catholic Church turned a blind eye to what was going on in Germany with Jews. Again, you guys, it's because all this stuff is tribute to history, and it's all Jesuit ritual, because we're living in their calendar, in their world, living in their system. You want to look into the history of the school system? Guess what? It all goes right back to the Catholic Church. The one thing they didn't teach us in our 13 years of slave school in the U.S., though, was how the letters and numbers come together. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, E is 5, F is 6. When you add up Bitcoin, you know, B is the second letter, I is the ninth, T is the 20th, C is the third. Just using the alphabetic order, Bitcoin equals 72. Same with money. Today leaves 72 days left in the year. Where Jesuit order equals 72 is when you run the alphabetic order in reverse with numerology. There's 4 base ciphers, the alphabetic order forwards and backwards with the rules of numerology. And with regards to this ritual today, I am going to be interested what the value is 18 days from today, the day leaving 54 days left in the year, because as we know, the Jesuits love 54, 72, and 18. See how Jesuit order is 54 forwards with numerology, 72 in reverse? By the way, all these numbers up here are so important with the Jesuits. You know, one of my favorite Jesuit rituals recently was with the simulation of President Biden winning a election at Jesuit Georgetown on June 12th, 2020, 144 days before the election. And in the simulation, Trump refuses to step down because he says he's cheated, and it leads to deadly violence in America, like the staged Capitol insurrection, which was a big Jesuit ritual. But again, you learn what these Jesuit punks do, and you see right through them. You know, the Facebook outage the other day was 144 days from Zuckerberg's birthday, and we'll be talking about why today, on the day leaving 72 days left in the year, they're announcing they're now changing their name. You know, got to do a little public rebranding. Facebook now has a negative, you know, connotation with it. All this stuff is ritual, you guys. But again, Bitcoin is not the save-all currency. It's the Jesuits who control the money systems of the world. Again, you guys, look at the Jesuit logo. It has the Templar cross in it. The Templars are the original bankers. If you start reading about Bitcoin, you'll see how some of the biggest people behind it are Catholic, which is a known fact. The Vatican, the independent city-state with its own central bank. The big moves with Bitcoin rapidly that are so ritualistic. What a perfect place for them to come from, right? The Vatican, where you can't even track it. And people say, no, it's China. Well, guess who runs China? The same Jesuits. Look into old Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu, right? The Art of War guy, whose text was translated by a Jesuit, and there's no historical record that there ever even was a Sun Tzu of China. Again, he was a military general, supposedly. But his name's Sun, right? Like the Jesuit order's logo's the sun. You see how Sun has the 54 and 18? If you look up the Jesuit logo, you'll see it's the abbreviation IHS over the Sun. IHS is 18. So watch what Bitcoin does over the next 18 days, going from the day leaving 72 days left in the year to the day leaving 54 days left in the year. The Jesuits perform a million different rituals with these numbers again and again. It could be something as simple as the value's down to 54K by that day. fall down a little bit. It got over, I don't know what the highest it got to today was. It got close to 67,000, might have gone over that. But remember, if you weren't here at the beginning of the year, on January 2nd, I put out the video and I said Bitcoin will be worth between 45,000 and 50,000 on Valentine's Day. And it was worth, it was like what, around 48,000 on Valentine's Day. And it was at 33,000 when we said that, so its value increased by 50%. But the reason I knew that was going to happen on Valentine's Day is because it's a Catholic day. But again, if you weren't here at the time, I'll just show you. Bitcoin has the 45 in it as well. 72, but also the 45. Satoshi Nakamoto, the man with Bitcoin, his name is 45. And remember, his birthday is April 5th. And from April 5th to Valentine's Day, the 45th day of the year, was exactly 45 weeks after his birthday. And here, let me bring him up here. Let me bring this guy up here. Satoshi Nakamoto, supposedly the guy behind Bitcoin. He turned 45 in 2020 on April 5th, right? Turned 45 on 4/5, and 45 weeks after his 45th birthday was Valentine's Day, the 45th day of the year, and I said, no doubt about it, Bitcoin's going to be worth at least 45,000 by that day. Clear ritual. And coming back to the IHS thing, the letters in the Jesuit logo, IHS 45. Again, these are the base ciphers, you guys. Alphabetic order, forwards and backwards with the rules of numerology. The reason they did it this way is so they can perform the rituals like they do again and again in the calendar year. And again, it's not like, I mean, you think about it, it's like, well, you have 4 ciphers. Again, there's 365 days left in the year, so essentially it allows you to cover about 1 out of every 100 days on the calendar year, and you just see this is how they do it over and over and over. And no doubt about it, you know, Bitcoin, Jesuit controlled. That's why I refuse to invest in it. I don't want to support any of their crap. I know you can make money off it, and that's up to you. I mean, if that's what you want to do, and people are, I mean, go for it. But I just don't want to be invested in any of these people's stuff in any way. I just want to destroy it all. That's my goal. Get people to stop supporting their system, stop paying their taxes, stop listening to the news, stop believing bullshit, stop voting in rigged elections, stop supporting rigged sports games, stop getting in debt to go to slave school for some extra years so you can get a piece of paper and then get some career that'll probably depress you and have you on medicine within a few months of getting your first job. You know what I mean? It's like we got to break this system. Bitcoin is part of this system. It is not outside of this system as so many people believe. So you guys believe. I don't believe over here. I think, and I give you this scientific knowledge that started with a theory that was then proven with extensive testing and is now used as an accurate model to expose what's going to happen next with all these Jesuit-controlled enterprises. And again, if you haven't read my latest book, Number Games 9/11 to Coronavirus, I talk about how all of big tech is so clearly Jesuit, including especially Facebook. Remember, Facebook launched February 4th, 2004, the day DARPA's LifeLog ended. DARPA's the military technology intelligence. The Jesuits are the military order that controls the militaries of the world. And everything about the Facebook launch of February 4th, 2004, the day DARPA ended, which, look at what DARPA's LifeLog was about, getting people, like, tracking people's lives in a database. You know what I mean? But by the way, Facebook's address is One Hacker Way in Menlo Park. Menlo Park's 42. One Hacker Way is 42. They launched on 4/2, February 4th, 4th day of the second month. Computer 42, Internet 42, Jesuit 42. Again, they launched 266 days after Zuckerberg's birthday. Jesus Hominum Salvator, the Jesuit motto, 266. IHS, what we were just talking about, Jesus Hominum Salvator. 266, the first Jesuit popes, Pope Francis, the 266th. But what an address, right? One Hacker Way. And you know what this honestly reminds me of? Is what happened to me on the Ides of March in 2017. Before I got my channel deleted, I had the worst, it was the worst day of my life. It was a disaster. Every single online account I had, everything. I mean, from my Netflix to my Amazon to my banks to Facebook, Google, everything. Every account I had was hacked and fucked with that day. And Facebook was the first sign, though. Facebook was the very first sign, because somebody got in there early in the day and just started deleting all the posts and all the friends, just like clearing out everything rapidly. And now I just look at their address. I'm just like, one hacker away. Go figure, man. Ides of March. I wonder who did it to me. You know what I mean? And I've stayed on there regardless. I started a new account. And the reason I stay on there, though, is just to promote what they're trying to censor. If they're trying to censor the message I'm putting out, then I feel like I'm a good force there. I'm doing something they don't like, which means it's good, because this is bad. But anyway, from Mark Zuckerberg's birthday to today, Facebook, again, it's the day leaving 72 days left in the year, Jesuit order, Jesuit 42 on one hacker way. From Zuckerberg's birthday to today, notice it's 5 months and 6 days, right? Society of Jesus, 56. Think of Steve Jobs dead at 56 days after Steve Wozniak's birthday. I'm sure that was a coincidence. Again, if you're new here, another huge number with the Jesuits, 56. Arguably their biggest. But it's 5 months and 6 days. It's also 159 days, and that's the number of the Scottish Rite. And remember, the 32nd degree of the Scottish Rite shares the motto with the Jesuits Ad Merum Dei Gloriam, for the greater glory of God. 32 sun rays on the Jesuit logo, Scottish 32, America 32, 7/4/1776, 32 date numerology. But Scottish Rite, Jesuit, the things that are large and in charge in Washington, D.C., and yeah, I mean, don't forget, Jesuit alone also equals 84, like Masonry, like Mark Zuckerberg, who's born in 84, the infamous year, George Orwell, censorship, the main topic in 1984, censorship, technology, Facebook. I mean, this stuff is really transparent if you just have a little critical thinking skills. And shout out to Big Al. This is a Big Al decode. Big Al's getting into the decoding market. But we've been talking about XRP, to watch out for XRP in 2022. And since we said that, there's been about a gazillion 22 rituals with XRP. But XRP and the most pure cipher, out of these 4 base ciphers, the one that matters the most is XRP 22. And there's been a lot of stuff with 22. In that same cipher, the plural, Jesuits, is 22, right? It's also 86. XRP is known as Ripple, which is 86. 10 Downing Street, Downing 86. The Jesuit order over 10 Downing Street's door. Couldn't be any more obvious who runs 10 Downing Street. If you don't know what that is, that's where the British Prime Minister resides. Just like the Jesuits are large and in charge in D.C. We had the bad barbershop brothers from New York at the same time. Donald Trump, Jesuit educated at Fordham. And Boris Johnson, who I don't actually think is Jesuit educated, but no doubt about it, he's a Jesuit product. We just saw what they did with his mama. Anyway, the Ripple coin, the full title, 201, like the Jesuit order, right? And if you're thinking, well, maybe that's a coincidence, check this out. The SEC, when they filed their lawsuit against XRP on the 22nd of December, one of a gazillion 22 rituals with XRP, the man who was responsible, Jay Clayton, his birthday is July 11th. From the day that the lawsuit was filed to his upcoming birthday is 201 days, right? 201 days. DC, the Feds, the Jesuits. And remember, every single crypto coin we've taken the time to look at, it just has Jesuit screaming all over it, I'm sure it doesn't mean that everyone is, but just the ones that we've taken the time to look at, the bigger ones, the names that people are aware of, Jesuit, Jesuit, Jesuit. The fingerprints are everywhere. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Because see, what they're doing now with the Bitcoin investors is people are learning the pattern, right? They're learning that it goes way up and it falls way down. And so investors are like, okay, the goal is to know when to buy and when to get out. And a lot of people right now, like the buzz on the street right now, is it's time to get out, record high, we know what's next. So if it does come down in the next few days, and it could go down even further, it might come back and set up a new record high in the future. And this could go on for some period of time. But what I predict is there will be a day where it goes down and it never comes back up. It's just done for. And then they're moving on to the next coin. And, investors are feeling like, damn, man, I feel like I got taken highway robbery. I didn't even get in until it was 30,000 a coin. Man, I lost a lot on that. I thought this thing was the savior. Maybe it'll be XRP. You know what I mean? And then they'll be investing in that. And I'm telling you, that's how the Jesuits got people, just like that. Because they run the damn show, man. All the names people know about, they know about them because, well, if you're on big tech where everything's circulating, guess who controls the flow of information? It's not an accident that Google's run by Sundar Pichai 201, like the Jesuit order, or that Google celebrates its birthday on September 27th, the day the Jesuits are recognized by Rome. Again, big tech is Jesuit land. The Bay Area, full of Jesuit schools. Gavin Newsom, the Jesuit scumbag. Shout out to Big Al times two. This was also his catch. Big Al noticed that at the airport, there's this stuff called Clear that's taking surveillance of people's faces and thumbs. And he said it's funny because down here for years at the U of A Stadium in Tucson, University of Arizona Wildcats, he said, on game day, they call it Clear Day, and they've been doing it for years, where women, if they bring in a purse or a bag, it has to be clear, so you can see through it, so you know your wife's not bringing in a bomb like Al-Qaeda, right? All the bullshit they've done to us since 9/11. But if you look into this company, Clear, they launched in the post-9/11 era to provide the products for the new surveillance state, right? And think about their company name, Clear, right? Clear Vision is 2020. In 2020, we get the pandemic. And now, all over, stadiums and airports are going with Clear to keep surveillance over the populace. And I just want you to see in the most pure cipher, you guys, Clear. 21, right? Like Jesuit. Like Sunday. Like Bible, right? 21's the sixth triangular number. Saturn's 21. Big with the Jesuits. That's why Pope Francis, the first Jesuit pope, his birthday is on Saturnalia. And I just realized we got some kind of maintenance going on here. Anyway. Let's see. Got distracted for a second. Yeah, just this agenda, you guys. This company, out of the post-9/11 agenda, is now the one that's getting all the government contracts, all the big contracts to put up the surveillance cameras that will do the Face ID and the hand scanning and the kind of stuff so that, if you don't want to carry around your vaccine passport everywhere, you won't need to, You'll just need to let Clear have your face in the database or your handprint, and you'll just have to be okay with getting scanned all the time, right? You got to think about where this is going, how all of this comes together. Again, you guys, Agenda 21, right? About curbing consumerism worldwide. And again, Agenda 21 was signed off on by all the participating nations June 13th, 92, the day leaving 201 days left in the year in Rio de Janeiro, which equals 201. Remember, they put up on the Christ the Redeemer statue, vaccine saves, which equals 201, like the Jesuit order, like the Holy Bible. If you're new here, huge number with the Jesuits. It's not an accident that Pope Francis is the first pope to live in Suite 201, and he's the first Jesuit. Catholic Pope equals 201, like the Jesuit order. His birth name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 201, like Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits. And again, it goes beyond that. Their order in their history books was saved by Catherine the Great, who preserved the order with 201 Jesuits. But again, 201, 21, key digits, 21, Jesuit 21. Here we are in the 21st century. I mean, people really should be seeing clearly by now what's going on. Big fascism, big tyranny, big world government, big surveillance state. Fuck your rights and liberties. They got, the governor saying here in the U.S., Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's from Austria, supposedly the Holy Roman Empire fell with Austria. That was on the 218th day of 1806 when Holy Roman Empire is 218. Again, you guys, you learn this code, you just see right through history and what's been going on. But, yeah, just what a mockery, right? Clear, 2020, the pandemic that now gives us the reason that we need this kind of surveillance to be kept safe. Oh, and I was going to say, with regards to the consumerism, here, just imagine a world like this, right? Where these computers are just everywhere. They're all linked up. The database is so good. that there's new laws in the land that you can only like buy so much of certain things. You can only drive so many miles in a month. Just all these new really restrictive regulations. And again, all things good and bad. I think people do need to tighten up with their consumerism, and we need to be a lot more modest about our expenditures and how we eat up the earth as consumers. I mean, totally get this, but it's just the way the surveillance state and the fact that these same psychopaths gave us this overconsumption lifestyle. Now they're going to do this to us. Again, it's just understanding that a group of people are trying to control you more and more, and always to their advantage, for their power, their wealth, etc. But anyway, I might have to go out there and tell them something about this work they're doing. Here, let me do a few more things, and I got to wrap this up. Also in the news today, this is a headline today. They're saying 44% of Afghanistan refugees are children. And notice, from the day that Afghan's government fell, August 15th, which is the day the Jesuits were created in history in Paris, France, August 15th, 1534, from that day to today is 67 days. Refugee is 67, right? And with regards to the percentage of 44, military is 44. Children is 44. It's mostly children coming over. This is all the result of a 20-year military effort in Afghanistan in the wake of 9/11, which was a huge Jesuit ritual. False flag, so that we go tear up the mountains of Afghanistan and get all the products we need to build up the world full of handheld computers that, gave us the surveillance state. I mean, this thing right here, we've been told it's always listening, it's always tracking, I mean, this is part of the police state, you guys. But look at this. 44%, right? And think about this. Sweet lady. If you don't know my sweet lady, she's from Burma. And Burma, if you don't know where Burma is, it's between Thailand, China, and India. It's an Asian nation of 50-some thousand people. And this year it's gotten a lot of attention because its government fell on February 1st, 2/1 like 21. Jesuit, war, army, they're all 21. I said to watch out for a big military ritual with 2/1. That was the first thing I posted this year on my Twitter on January 1st. But 2/1, and sure enough, it's Burma's military that overthrows its government. And then we looked at the government. We said, look at that. That government was established September 27th, the day the Jesuits were recognized by Roman history. But the thing I've been asking about Sweet Lady for all the time we've been together is she came to this country as a refugee in 2008, and that was the year the U.S. federal government began accepting refugees from Iraq and Burma. And, of course, Iraq was after the Afghanistan invasion in 9/11, the big Jesuit ritual. And if you don't know what's been going on in Burma, it has the longest ongoing civil war in the world that's been going on for decades, and it's because it's all divided over religion, Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, and they're all fighting with each other. And again, who do you think divided up that nation? Again, we've been all through the Americas the Americas too, and Asia. Just the Jesuit military order's been stirring up and dividing the nations and creating boundaries and conflicts all over the world in the industrial century. And again, people have to wake up to these games. The New World Order is real. The Illuminati is real. It's the Jesuit order. And in fact, the Bavarian Illuminati, renamed Order of Illuminati, which equals 201, was established by Adam Weishaupt, the Jesuit. But now I understand why Sweet Lady's country was also on that refugee list in the same year Afghanistan and Iraq were at the time, because this is what they do. They go in and mess up these nations, and then they move the people out of those nations. Again, they want the world's population mixed up. They want it so there's no culture really anywhere. And it's just so obvious, man. It's so obvious what they're doing. And it's all things good and bad. Like, I'm glad Sweet Lady's here. Sweet Lady's great, I'll take her over any of the American women I've been with and dated in my life, man. She's like a traditional woman that loves to clean and, and cook. And I'm not saying that's all a woman should do. She does a lot more than that, but just most American women, man, they absolutely refuse to cook. They think it's like some cultural thing to be against cooking, and that's not a good thing. I mean, it's good to make your own meals. It's a great quality to have, but and don't think that I'm just with Sweet Lady because she cooks and cleans, but because that's not the case at all. But I mean, they're just really nice qualities to have. They're great bonuses. They're the thing that makes the relationship even better. You know what I mean? And I cook and clean too. I mean, it's a mutual thing. But I've been with a lot of women that just do not cook at all, period. They think it's an insult. Anyway, another topic. Nets facing questions they shouldn't have to in Kyrie Irving's absence. Again, this is all about, Kyrie's kind of being treated as selfish in the media. He's letting his team down because he won't get the vaccine. All he has to do is just get the vaccine. Now, remember what Kyrie Irving has been used as for years leading up to this. The media has constantly reminded you about what with Kyrie Irving? Not just he's in movies and good at basketball, but what else? It's that he's a flat earther, right? He's a flat earther. Hold on, you guys. I'm going to cut this short, and I'll be right back. We'll do a part 2 in just a moment. Sit tight.